What's up, guys? This is Korean producing team, mate. Yeah. Today we're gonna show you guys about the like a disclosure track. So
It looks like you've watched many musical streams.
yeah.
Is that how they start?
Yeah.
Okay, so a few months ago, like around April, I've met Jae Young
Mm-hmm.
through a friend.
Hi, my name is
And
Jaeyoung.
I invited him to my studio, and around that time, I got my new speakers. And
Yeah.
around the time I got these speakers, I was really into Disclosure,
Mm-hmm.
and we were watching almost every single one of the musical streams from Disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The way that I produce is I get really into this one artist,
Mm-hmm.
and I try to copy his or her style for a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and like get their production essentials, I guess,
Mhm,
and then incorporate it into
Mhm.
my own.
Okay, so I have a question. So,
Okay.
what is the main ingredient to make this kind of trap, in your opinion? This.
Okay, so what I've learned
Mm-hmm.
by watching a lot of those streams
Yeah.
were that they use a lot of automation in their tracks. So they automate distortion,
Mhm.
reverb,
Mm-hmm.
and delay a lot,
Yeah.
or even like the filters
Mhm.
to create like a movement. So it sounds like it's constantly moving.
Mm-hmm.
And their philosophy was that if you use analog gear, it's not static,
Mm-hmm.
so it always changes little by little.
Okay.
So that kind of slight change
Mm-hmm.
kind of creates like a humanness, I guess.
Okay.
Because like if it's digital, it's very static,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So yeah, so if you look at our track, I've
Mhm.
used many automation. Like here, you see the filter track,
Mm-hmm.
and you see the delay, and even
Holy.
some reverb.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually I've never put this much automation,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a first for me, and it was a good experience. So
Okay.
I'll probably use this kind of technique again
Mm-hmm.
very soon.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'll show you guys the basic sound.
Okay, so we're
The
gonna
bass
start
sound,
off
'cause-
with the bass, right?
Yeah, because we thought that the
Mhm.
bass was
The
kind of
main
like
sound,
the
right?
exactly for
Mhm.
this track
Mhm.
especially. So
Mhm.
let's check it out. Okay, so this was our bass track. So let me unfreeze this track. It might make some noise.
Mhm.
Okay, it stopped. Good. But anyways, yeah. So as you can see, there are many automations, and I've used Reactor because it's like a Moog synthesizer,
Yeah.
and apparently Disclosure used this a lot in their like previous albums a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously because we wanted to replicate the sound,
Okay.
that's what we used.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are a bunch of plugins here right now that you see,
Mm-hmm.
and all has its own purpose, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So like the first three up here are like overdrive saturators,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess like the basic philosophy why I used this
Mm-hmm.
was because if you use analog gear,
Mm-hmm.
it automatically has analog saturation and
Mhm.
analog like noise.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since we used ever since we transitioned digitally,
Mm-hmm.
the sound's too clean.
Okay.
So that's how we try to emulate it by using.
That's why you use it, right?
Yeah, that's why we use
Mm-hmm.
different saturators
Mm-hmm.
to, I guess, make it sound more analog,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the vibe that Disclosure usually goes to.
Okay.
I don't know why it's making this noise, but okay, now it stopped. So I'll turn off all the plugins that we used, and we'll, I guess, show you. We'll turn it on one by one, and
Okay.
then we'll let you guys listen,
That's a good idea.
and we will, I guess, explain it through
Okay.
afterwards. But anyways, here you go.
Cool, cool.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is the track without any effects.
Mm-hmm.
It's bland as hell, but. Yeah, it's like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's nice, but.
Yeah, it's a little bit bland
Yeah.
right now.
So I'll play it again, and then
Okay.
I'll add all the plugins one by one, and then
Mhm.
loop it for you guys so you guys can
Mhm.
listen. So let's check it out. I don't know if it made any big difference for you guys, but for us, it definitely did.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the first three plugins, like we said, it's adding analog warmth,
Okay.
and the third plugin is an EQ. So we rolled it down some
Kind of
low
basic
end.
thing. Right?
Yeah. So we rolled down
Mm-hmm.
the sub
Okay.
because nobody will probably hear this part.
Okay.
And we cut down some 75 hertz
Mhm.
for some boxiness,
Mm-hmm.
and then added some 15K
Okay.
for like this attack click.
Okay.
And the next plugin, we added some
Mm-hmm.
RC20, which is one of
Yeah.
my favorite plugins actually.
Yeah.
We used a digital mode, and then
Mm-hmm.
you see how it's like wiggling up here?
Mm-hmm.
It's not static, it's moving. So each hit
Mm-hmm.
sounds different. The top end sounds different
Oh,
because of it.
really?
Yeah, because it's like
Okay.
it's
I
like
didn't know that.
yeah, it's like how Disclosure said. They
Mhm.
said that
Wow.
we're having different bit crushers
Mm-hmm.
for every note.
Okay.
So to make it sound interesting, not like I said, not static. And I used erosion.
Mm-hmm.
I used two erosions because I used one as a sign. It's like adding noise,
Mm-hmm.
more top end. So
Mhm.
I'll emphasize it for you guys so you guys can kind of see what kind of difference it makes. Yeah, so each element adds a little bit, and that little bit adds up to create what's important.
Mm-hmm.
And the delay and reverb is basically like a transition effect.
Mm-hmm.
So I automated it a lot, I think. Yeah, see. So each section, it's like to create some width, I guess, and some movement.
Solid. Yeah. Solid. Yeah.
His
You did a great job, right?
It's
Yeah.
it's one of his catchphrases.
Cool.
But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
so this was the bass. Oh, okay. So the last limiter, we used this because
Mm-hmm.
this bass is moving around a lot from low frequencies to high frequencies,
Mhm.
and some of those high frequencies really poke out.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why I used this limiter was
Mhm.
to contain it a little bit and to make it
Okay.
sound even.
So normally you're not using this plugin on
The limiter?
bass, yeah, right?
I mean,
No.
usually I would, the way that I like, so there are no. I feel like there's never a right answer, but the way that that I approached it usually was if there was a frequency that bothered me, I would
Mhm.
just stick like a dynamic EQ
Mm-hmm.
and then just carve out the part that annoyed me.
Okay.
But like I said, I was trying to be authentic to Disclosure,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I saw many of their
Okay.
tracks, and then
Mm-hmm.
they apparently used a limiter at the end to
Ooh.
kind of contain the sound.
Okay.
So that was the approach.
Nice try.
So this is the bass, and
What is the bass slide?
the bass slide is
Mhm.
because I was lazy.
Okay.
I mean, because you know how like I kind of
Mhm.
did a crossfade over here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really that familiar with Reactor, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So the first note was
Mhm.
actually a MIDI note,
Mm-hmm.
and then it
Bounced
did.
it.
Yeah, I bounced it on purpose because
Mm-hmm.
like the note extended to the second note, so
Mhm.
I felt like it was clashing. So
Okay.
I bounced the first note, and then I did a fade in,
Mm-hmm.
so it stopped before the second note, so the
Mhm.
basses weren't colliding.
Cool.
I'm sure there's a better way,
Okay.
but you know it's like how
So-
your mind like
So you wanted to make it more like clear, and then.
yeah, I guess exactly, yeah, kind of clear, but
Mhm.
it's not the best way to do it,
Okay.
but it's a way that works.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, there's no right answer.
Okay.
So whatever works works. If it's like you know, it's whatever thought process you have. If it gets you to the goal,
Mm-hmm.
then it's still the right answer,
Okay.
even if you approach it differently.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always good to have a clear idea
Okay.
of what you want to get.
Okay.
That's my opinion. Anyways, yeah. So that was the slide, and this
Okay.
part is just a good old operator, some sub, some pure sub,
Okay.
and the plugins that you see. I guess it's like the
Normally it's the same, right?
yeah, it's kind of the same, you
Mhm.
know. If you want to listen
All the
to it.
same, right?
Yeah, if I removed all the plugins, it would have
Mhm.
been a pure sine wave.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make it cohescent, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because like all the other basses have the same sound, so I guess I
Okay.
wanted to have the same character,
Mhm.
but a sub, you know,
Mhm.
like a sine wave,
Mm-hmm.
but with some character.
Oh yeah.
That was my approach.
Mm.
And the second part are the drums.
Yeah. Drums. So these are like one of the main ingredients of like this track, right? Drums. I love it. I love this sound.
I mean, to be honest, I got a lot of them from Splice,
Mm-hmm.
so you guys
Splice,
can
yeah.
probably find it.
Okay.
I'm really not against using Splice. If it sounds right, then
Mhm.
it's okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, for the I don't have many subscribers now,
Okay.
but like I'm doing mostly covers, so since you are usually here for my covers, you
Mhm.
you may not know what Splice is, but Splice
Mhm.
is a site for samples,
Yeah.
for different sounds, for
Mhm.
different instruments,
Think
for different loops. So
every producers are using it, right?
yeah, so one of the reasons why you use it is obviously you can create these yourself,
Mm-hmm.
but it takes time, and then
Right.
now in this world efficiency and time is always money,
Yeah.
so using a good sample and then
Yeah. They have
kinda-
all of that things.
yeah, kind of changing it up in
Mhm.
your own style, I
Mhm.
guess is very important to know.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So anyways, yeah, I use Splice for the hi-hats and stuff like that, but
But we gotta talk about like a big kick first.
oh yeah, so another big Disclosure sound is big
Mhm.
kick,
Yeah.
because usually I tend to use like good samples. I have a sample library that
Mm-hmm.
my go-to sample library.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Disclosure create their own kicks, and one of the reasons why they do it is if you see here, I have an 88 big kick and a 29
Mm-hmm.
and a 59.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why I had 3 was to experiment,
Mm-hmm.
and what I experimented was
Mhm.
the release time,
Okay.
which means how long the kick sustained.
Mm.
So the longer the number, the longer it's sustained. So that was
Yeah.
the approach. So I tried different things, different sustain time,
Mhm.
and I eventually ended up using the 88 millisecond release time.
Mhm.
So
Well, yeah, this is detail, right?
yeah, these kind of,
Uh,
cause like I mentioned it earlier when I first filmed the video, but
mhm.
so since the bass is so jumpy
Mhm.
and is like the main focus,
Mhm.
I felt like the kick was kind of like supporting the bass.
Okay.
So if this kick had too much sub, too
Mhm.
much low end,
Mhm.
it was gonna clash with the bass, right?
Yeah, right.
So having the right amount of release time
Mhm.
gave it a good balance.
Yeah,
So that was the approach.
solid. Solid tips.
But I mean,
Mm.
if you guys watch a bunch of videos, I'm
Mhm.
sure they would probably say the same thing.
Mhm.
But I guess the reason why I'm saying it again is like because it's that important.
Okay. That was the kick.
Yeah, that was the kick. So, and okay, so let me play through all the elements of the kick one by one,
Okay.
so you guys can listen to it. Oh, so for one of the transitions here for this one,
Mhm.
how like one of what inspired us to write this track was we download this acapella
Yeah.
of Sam Smith
Sam Smith.
singing Latch.
Latch, right?
So we had that on our project file,
Mhm.
and then we kind of created
Mhm.
the track, or we produced it around it, I guess.
Okay.
And you guys may have not noticed it, but this sweep right here is actually Sam Smith's voice that I've kind of manipulated it
Yeah.
using a plugin called Quanta.
Yeah.
It's a granular synthesizer,
Mhm.
and if you just want to listen to it, you may hear Sam Smith's voice, but if I didn't tell you, you probably wouldn't have noticed.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyways, you know, you make your own stuff. You use some samples, and then
Yeah.
you produce. Should we go through some of the plugins that we used? But it was actually very straightforward.
Mhm.
You know, as you can see, it's low cut for like
Mhm.
percussion, some
Mhm.
overdrive,
Mhm.
some panning, which
Mhm.
means like the sound moves left and right.
Okay.
Some hi hats, EQ, overdrive again.
Mhm.
The reason why I'm using the same overdrive is the philosophy behind it is
Mhm.
it's going through at least one
Mhm.
similar processing.
Mhm.
So all the
Mhm.
samples, all the tracks up here
Okay.
have a similar character.
Okay.
So that was my thought process. So use like a
So you wanted to make like in the same
coherency.
texture.
Yeah, exactly. Same
Okay.
texture, same coherency.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this
Gotcha.
Soothe plugin is actually what I'm using a lot lately.
Mm.
It's my favorite plugin. It's a resonance suppressor, so which
Mhm.
means it reduces a lot of harsh frequencies.
Mhm.
Let me just show you what it's actually doing real quick. See, I pressed the delta here, and then it kind of like you guys could hear like the
Mm-hmm.
I guess like the sharpness, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So these kind of frequencies by
Mhm.
itself, you may not notice it
Mhm.
as being harsh,
Mm-hmm.
but if you add many tracks
Mm-hmm.
over and over again,
Okay.
these frequencies build up
Mhm.
and then creates like harshness,
Okay.
which hurts your ears a lot.
It makes sense. Mm-hmm.
I used it a lot here,
Okay.
but anyways, yeah, the shaker, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Used battery for the samples.
Ooh.
Cut the lows,
Mhm.
added some good old Ableton Overdrive,
Mm-hmm.
some claps.
Yeah.
See, same thought process.
Mm-hmm.
Claps again, and then some rim shot. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Probably cut like the lows.
Mhm.
I tend not to do a lot of like drastic EQs, as you can see,
Mm-hmm.
because if the sample sounds good, then I feel like it's fine. But
Yeah.
another instance of soothe, an EQ,
Mm-hmm.
same thought process. If some resonance, like some like annoying frequency is bothering me, I'll put on soothe and then
Mm-hmm.
just tame it that way.
Yeah.
It's really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it. See, same thought process, same overdrive, a little bit of compression because like the volume was jumping too
Mhm.
much, and a little
Mhm.
bit of filtering
Mm-hmm.
to create like a transition effect.
Okay.
Um, some vocals that I cut the lows and highs,
Mhm.
added some reverb.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the same process, you know, as you
Mhm.
can see.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want me to go more in depth, I guess I will, but it's like an overview of our thought process.
Mm-hmm.
And for the synthesizers,
Okay.
what do we do?
Mm-hmm. We did a lot of things on the synthesizers. Like first thing first, plug sound first or
The organ
the step
blocks?
sound. Yeah.
Okay,
First with the plug sound first and then.
so this actually has a bunch of automations too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bunch, but like a few for transitions, I
Okay.
guess. Cause like for the transition, I wanted
Mhm.
to make it sound kind of like crunchy
Mm-hmm.
before it goes, and then clean it up a little bit
Mm-hmm.
to create different movements again.
Okay.
That was my thought process, and I have to hear what I've actually used. So let's check it out. I'll play it through
Mm-hmm.
too. Okay, so yeah, I think I used
Can you remember which plugin we used?
it was
For
probably
this- for the
Arturia
sound? Arturia.
or Omnisphere. It's either those
Omnisphere.
two. Those are like my two go-to plugins that I always use.
Isn't it a diva? No.
No, this organ sound was.
Maybe it's from Arturia or Omnisphere. Yeah, for sure, right?
But I mean, it doesn't matter what plugin you use. to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
honest.
yeah, right.
If it sounds
Exactly.
right, then it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But so we used a transient shaper to make it more plucky, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So added some
Yeah.
more attack, cut
This
to
is my go-to
sustain.
plugin.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
told me about this. That's why.
Oh
you said.
yes.
And then gave it some compression,
Mm-hmm.
some EQ.
Mm-hmm.
So this was probably for the click, and I
Mhm.
wanted to get rid of the annoying high end.
Mm-hmm.
Got rid of some of the boxiness,
Mm-hmm.
and then cut down some of the low frequencies,
Mm-hmm.
like you know the usual stuff.
Okay.
And then added the overdrive for some same character,
Mm-hmm.
some Pultec EQ.
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt like I cut down too much, and then sometimes if I cut too much, what I do is like I add like
That's why you used it. Right?
yeah, that's why I use a musical EQ sometimes, and
Okay.
then boost the low end,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time attenuate it. Because if you boost, it's always good to cut a little bit above
okay.
to get rid of the boxiness.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
And like the funny thing, like you know, it's like you see here, I cut all the highs off,
Mm-hmm.
and then I boosted all the highs back again.
Okay.
Cause I
That's
don't
why
want to
you
go.
use it.
Yeah, I don't want to go in too much depth, but
Mm-hmm.
musical, I feel like it's better to use a analog EQ
Mm-hmm.
for shaping the character,
Mm-hmm.
cause like I said, it has more character.
Okay.
So I feel like it adds
Mhm.
it adds up a little bit more.
Mhm.
And I used a filter for some transition effects, as you can see here.
Mhm.
Used Decapitator again. I think I used it for another transition here at the end. You know,
Mhm.
all these like added up together.
Mhm.
Some delay again,
Mhm.
and some reverb, and some for space, vitalizer,
Mhm.
some stereo width.
Mhm.
The crazy glitch sound that you hear is, as you can see here, I put it on tones, and then I reduced the grain size, so it sounds very glitchy.
Mhm.
It's what I do sometimes. And added like a top layer of same organ sound actually. So cut down the lows,
Okay.
reduce some of the harsh frequencies, and
I mean, these are the same sound, right?
yeah, those are the same sound. I pitched the
You just
pitch
put
it
the
up.
low
Yeah,
cut and then.
yeah, exactly. And same thing, same transient master.
Mhm.
And then I did some mid-side EQing for this one.
Mhm.
I boosted the sides a little bit to
Mhm.
give it more stereo width,
Mhm.
and at the same time I cut like the, where is it? Oh yeah, the harshness, I guess. I don't know, it bothered me, so
Ooh.
that's what I did. Added a little bit of compression afterwards
Okay.
to smooth out the sound,
Mhm.
and oh yeah, and then going through all these processes, and then playing the whole track together,
Mhm.
there were still some frequencies that bothered me.
Mhm.
So I made some like drastic cuts up here,
Mhm.
and some good old overdrive,
Mhm.
some Pultec for
Pultec.
some similar philosophy. Like I use Pultec in the main like lower part, so I wanted to have some same character.
Mhm.
So that's why I used this one.
Okay.
And the rest is the same automation filters for the transitions.
Mhm.
Oh, and last I used PanNet
Pan
for some more width.
Mm.
Those like are the main differences.
Mhm.
And what else? Oh yeah, for the second part of the hook, we
Mhm.
had like a arpeggiating.
Mhm. A step sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So for this one, we definitely use Arturia.
How did he make it? Like I can't remember it. So like a.
If you see the plugin, you might remember it. But we use this one, JP
Juno.
CS80 something.
Oh, it's from Yamaha, right?
Yeah, exactly. We definitely use this one.
We used it like an analog synth.
Yeah, we went through some presets, and
Okay.
then we recorded it. We played the chords,
Mhm.
and we bounced it off as a.
And then we chopped it, right?
Yeah, we chopped it and we
Like
pitched
one
it
by
up,
one, and then, yeah.
and to make it sound.
Yeah, it took a lot of time to make it sound like this.
It sounds very simple, to be honest, but
Mhm.
it's actually a lot of.
But we put a lot of energy on this sound.
Yeah, actually, like, you know, that's why it's actually one of my favorite parts in
Yeah,
this
yeah,
track.
yeah, yeah.
But if you want to listen to it, just the track, if just the step by itself. I think these were like bunch of layers, like
Yeah, right. It's not.
yeah, so
just only single
arpeggiating sound,
right?
a pad sound,
Yeah, right.
and like a pluck sound.
Mm-hmm.
Then we bounce it.
Yeah, we put
Yeah,
it together.
we resampled it,
Right,
which
right,
means
right,
like
right.
we made it one sound,
Mm-hmm.
and then we pitched it up,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think we kind of messed with like the
Mm-hmm.
modes from Ableton. It
Mhm.
either might have been beat mode or
Mhm.
tones or texture. It's one of those threes. But you could, it's
Mhm.
like you experimented with it. You know, just pull down the sustain
Mm-hmm.
or pull down the grain
Mm-hmm.
to make it sound interesting. You know, if it sounds good, then just go for it.
Yeah.
And for for the plugins that we use, it's actually pretty straightforward too. It's another low cut, overdrive, some decapitator,
Okay.
and some reverb,
Wow,
and some spatial width.
Okay.
And so for the bridge part, so the bridge has like a beeping sound.
So how did you make it? You show us about a little bit.
Okay, let me just show you the sound first.
Okay.
Yeah, so this beeping sound was a sample from Splice, and
Okay.
I kind of remember this one, so
Mhm.
let me try to find
Okay.
the same sample. Okay, so this was the original sample that we used.
It's totally different.
Yeah, it's totally different, right?
Yeah.
So what I did was I definitely used beat modes for this, and
Mhm.
then chose it at one shot mode,
Okay.
and turned down the sustain all the way, and
Mhm.
I may have pitched it down a few semitones, so
Mhm.
it might kind of sound similar then. Yeah, that was like, that's how it worked.
Mhm.
And added some processing,
Mhm.
some transient master again for
Mhm.
some attack,
Mhm.
some compression,
Mhm.
getting rid of the lows,
Okay.
and use it soothe again, because
Mhm.
like this like boxiness kind of bothered me.
Mhm.
And I guess again, I mean sometimes when like the reason why I used two was
Mhm.
I would put soothe once,
Mhm.
and then if it still doesn't get rid of the problem,
Mhm.
I would just use another EQ
Mhm.
and just trying to solve it.
Okay.
Because I don't want to mess with the original setting, because I may want to go back, right?
Mhm.
So I feel like it's better to use another EQ and then
Mhm.
do something else, so I can
Okay.
always like mute it again,
Mhm.
you know. And tremolator
Mhm.
for some movement,
Mhm.
some reverb,
Mhm.
and some decapitator. So that was the crazy effect that you've heard earlier.
Mhm.
Or wait, where'd it go? Oh, okay, yeah, here, this one. So yeah, I used two, and one was for tone,
Mhm.
and the second one was for
Mhm.
some effects.
Effects.
For some, you know, some like the crazy glitching transition effects. Reverb the same, kind of for some movement. Delay kind of the same.
Mhm.
You know, basic philosophy used throughout
Mhm.
whenever it's needed. And I created another track, the same track,
Mhm.
duplicated and pitched it down,
Mhm.
and I guess kind of processed it the same.
Mhm.
Should be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, it's almost same.
Okay, but
Mm.
yeah, anyway, so
That was the like a beep sound.
yeah, this is, so anyways, the same sound, duplicated it again,
Mhm.
and then to add more layers, I guess, because the one sound kind of sounded too thin, so if you add two sounds together.
언제부터
Ah, 방금.
어.
Okay, so it was muted.
Oh, it's
So what we
alright.
said was we used the same sound,
Mhm.
duplicated it for some more some texture, some lower texture because it
Mhm.
sounded too thin,
Mhm.
and we added a pad,
Mhm.
and this pad has some dissonance, which means like this one note, another note, another note is like shifting in pitch, so it has like this movement.
Okay.
So I'll show it to you guys. So what I used was a reactor, but probably used like 2 oscillators.
Mhm.
The oscillator frequencies going up and down to create that dissonance. Same overdrive, some low cut, some compression, some kickstart for some bouncing, sidechain bouncing movements, and some delay, some reverb, and some vitalizer for some space again, and soothe for some sidechain.
Okay.
And this beep, so this pad swirl goes throughout the bridge, but the beeps go out throughout the entire rest of the last hook part. Okay, so that was basically the track,
Mhm.
and it was our first attempt. Anyways, thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Yeah.
I would have never imagined myself saying this,
Mhm.
but hopefully
Please,
subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe and then thumbs up.
Set the alarm or something like that.
Yeah, please.
I felt very blessed doing this today, so
Yeah. Cool.
have a good
See you
day.
around. Have a good day.